BBC Radio 1.
So, Rogers the Musical. Tell me you were on set to see that.
I was not. I was not, and I was devastated by it, to be honest. And when I saw it back, I was like, this would be the type of thing that I wouldn't mind seeing a few times, you know what I mean? I mean, Jeremy probably feels differently after he had to hear that probably 100 times, but yeah, it was amazing.
Amazing. I think they missed a trick not including at least a couple of the Baden-Bellas in there.
A little cross.
Next time.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, before we begin properly, do you mind if I just embarrass you? Just a little bit.
Oh, no.
No, this is good.
Okay.
This is good embarrassing. Just to remind the world, like True Grit, Edge of 17, one of my favourite underappreciated movies. Begin Again, Pitch Perfect 2 and 3, Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, Dickinson.
Oh, thank you.
And now you're playing Kate Bishop, you're in Hawkeye, you're part of the MCU, you're 24 years old, and did I mention you're an internationally successful pop star? I just want to say, I'm going to put it out there and embarrass her totally, you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did you get the role? How did you get Kate Bishop? How was it pitched to you?
I received a phone call. Well, I guess I first saw a bunch of chatter online.
Oh, yeah.
And that's always a wild thing, right? Because you're aware of something happening and, you know, you don't know if you should make a call or if you should wait for a call. But this was something that I had known about and was excited about before it ever even crossed my plate, if you will.
So you weren't like, Kevin!
Yeah, right. Sending email, no. Although, no, I guess no. But I did receive a phone call that they wanted to meet with me. So I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, Kevin, you know. So I went in to have a meeting at the studio, and it was the most intense, surreal situation I had ever experienced as far as like a meeting goes. I mean, like multiple gates, underground parking, up and down these like secret back elevators. It was like on lockdown. It was like the most intense thing. And I had this meeting and I remember calling my team afterwards being like, did I get it? Like, was that it? Because if that was it, I mean, that was kind of cool. But like, what is happening? It feels like this might be going somewhere. But it ended up, being an amazing meeting in what happened to be one of the writers' rooms for the show. So it was just covered in, you know, Hawkeye inspiration and pulls from the comics and it was just incredible. So anyway, that was the beginning of it.
In my head, it was the Avengers complex. Like you were like going in and around all the big glass.
That's what it felt like. Maybe that was done purposely.
Yes, that's what it is. That's part of the indoctrination. They leave a bow here, like a quiver there.
Right.
So I was wondering, imagine if you're a total newcomer to the concept of Kate Bishop. You're a Marvel fan, but you're not totally on board with the comics necessarily. Who's she?
Where do I begin?
Some people have actually called me the world's greatest archer.
Are you one of those people?
It's hard to pick an exact starting point. This is a character so full of energy and life. I don't know if this is giving too much away. I never know with this stuff, man. All I'll say is that she has idolized Hawkeye for being somebody who helps people and uses what he can do physically for good. And she wants to be that. She wants to be this source of light in people's lives. She wants to see people smile. She wants to help people. And like Clint, she's very family-oriented, and she cares a lot about people around her. And she meets Hawkeye.
You're a Hawkeye!
Who the hell are you?
She ends up in this wild journey of this criminal conspiracy with this person that she's like a huge fan of. And the dynamic between them absolutely evolves into this partnership, whether or not he's willing to accept that.
Yeah, he might not say partnership. He'd say temporary acquaintance.
There you go.
Now, honestly, I know you signed up for this job because it's an exciting thing to do and such a great character, but also you get to hang out with a dog for most of the shoot.
Definitely a key point.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's a dog. Yes, whatever the role.
I'll take it.
I'll take it on there. Could you talk to me about whether you do your own falling through a skylight work?
Well, yes. I did a version of it.
A version of
A
it.
version of it. The version where she absolutely crashes through and hits the floor, maybe not that one. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing to be given the opportunity to not just do it because it's something that I can do or because I like necessarily want to do it specifically, but for the storytelling sake of it all, to be put in a position where I can do it and do it safely and succeed is always great. And we had an amazing team around us helping us pull stuff like that off.
You also got to do the slow-mo, turn around, try to load your bow.
Yes.
Falling into the water.
Yes. We did that one time.
Once.
That was it. We did it one time. And I was and I actually don't know. In fact, I was a little bit nervous leading up to it because, well, again, without giving too much away, what happens right before then had a lot to do with like spacing and timing for that to happen again successfully. So I was like, oh God, cameras are rolling, they call action, and you're like, I have to start running with my right foot, otherwise it's all gonna be messed up. You know what I mean? So exactly. So by the time we did it, I was like, we should totally do that again because that was fun. But we moved on, we got it right away.
They were like, nailed it, move on.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need to make them wet. We don't need to spin them around again. Can we take the opportunity, by the way, to shout out the marketing department? Because whoever came up with this holiday season, the best gifts come with a bow.
You know what? Oh. So good. Gold,
Jerry. Yeah. Gold. Mm-hmm. I was bored. I mean, look, I was a bit bored, just a tiny bit earlier. And I looked up archery slang. Now, obviously, you've got to get into the archer's mind. You've got to learn how to actually do the thing. You've got to knocking and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should know the answers to this, but
oh boy,
could you care to guess what some of these are?
Okay.
So dry fire
is when you don't have an arrow.
I knew she'd know. Bracing.
Bracing.
It's when you string the string to the bow, you actually put it on.
Oh.
That's bracing. A Robin Hood.
Oh, when an arrow hits the back of another arrow and it splits.
A bucket hatter.
What?
I know. Apparently this is someone who uses a recurve bow.
Okay. Uses a recurve bow and does what?
And that's it.
That's it? That's using a recurve bow?
They're called bucket hatters. And my last one is this. What is a chunk...
I want to get a bucket hat that just says recurve bow on it and see how many people get it.
I want a bucket hat that just says Kate Bishop.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I'll get it for you.
Last one. What is a chunk or a gutch?
Is this also known as a cluster? I have no idea. What is it?
It's when you make a really bad shot.
Oh, that's not a cluster.
No, a gunch. Oh my God, I got archery wrong.
Oh no. Well, I will tell you, I had one of them. I actually had this really great instructor who, for my first few lessons, didn't set up a target because he didn't want there to be. I was shooting into a bunch of hay bales, right?
Phew.
But it was no. But it was nice because I didn't have the pressure of trying to hit the bullseye, right? So I felt really good about just again, a cluster is when they're generally in the same vicinity. So that's not the worst thing. It might not be at the bullseye, but as long as you're having, there's consistency. So there was a bunch of hay bales and then a chain link fence and then more hay bales beyond it. And I would like to say this is in some ways good aim because I missed the hay bale, but I went through the chain link fence into one of the hay bale. I have a picture. I actually might have a video too. So in ways I would say that's talent, but it's just me.
That's an epic gunch. Yeah. A mistake that turns into a success.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seriously, what a pleasure. And have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plumb.